sugar, grab your coat and hat. We're heading to the movies now, imagine that. Popcorn's popping, got my soda too. The lights are dimming down just for me and you. Oh, the movie's about to begin. So grab your snacks and bring your grin. Sit back, relax, let the reel spin. We're gonna laugh and dream till the credits roll in.
The candy's sweet, the scream so wide.
Scoot a little closer, baby, right by my side.
The trailers roll on the magic near.
We'll hold hands and giggle when the monsters appear. Oh, the movie's about to begin. So grab your snacks and bring your grin. Sit back, relax, let the reel spin. We're gonna laugh and dream.
Forget your caters, we got silver screen kisses and dramatic flares. When the hero's in danger,
We'll shout,
hooray!
And when the lights come up, we'll be floating away. Yeah, the movie's about to begin. So hush your voice and tuck your chin. Feel that magic deep within. We'll be starry-eyed lovers when the credits roll in. So hush now, darling, the lights roll dim. The show's about to start. Let the fun begin.
Flicks Talkers, welcome to the show. We are here for the second watch-along, the second live watch-along. Now, if you guys are unfamiliar with what I've been doing here, this has been very, very fun. I'm kind of looking for some public domain movies. Now, what are public domain movies, you may ask? Well, those are movies that pretty much have gone into copyright death. Like the copyrights are now, no longer existent. So because of that, you can either react to them with fair use, and you don't have to worry about anything. I'm trying to find my graphic right now. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to find my graphic of some of the movies that we're going to be going over in the next couple of weeks or so. Here it is. I thought it would be cool because there are a lot of movies that are very popular, and I do like to watch the movies of yesteryear and the golden age of cinema and whatnot. And these were at the top of the list, so I really try to go through them and just pick the best of the best, or the most fun, or the most interesting that we can talk about. I don't know a thing about them, so it's going to be interesting in that regard to kind of get my take on things, to get your guys' takes on things, and just try something new and fresh and different, because I know a lot of people don't do this type of thing. So that being said, this is Flicks Talk at the Cinema. So once again, thank you guys for joining me here on a Sunday afternoon or evening, wherever you guys are coming in from. I see some of you guys in the chat talking about that you guys did, some good house cleaning. I did some house cleaning yesterday, and I saw Waylon say, man, it's like a workout. My body was drenched. I was drenched in sweat, just cleaning the tub, cleaning, the top of the shower head, cleaning the sink area, cleaning underneath the toilet and the mirrors and every little thing. And then, also cleaning the kitchen as well, our patio, a lot of good things. But you know what? It felt good. It felt good to do some summer cleaning. Almost it said spring cleaning. Summer cleaning, as we are in summer 2025 now, guys. We kicked it off last week with Carnival of Souls. Now we're kind of going in order. This is not the official order, but the reason why I wanted to talk about Glen or Glenda, it does deal with trans issues, all right? And we are in Pride Month, and I hope that's okay that we can cover some of these topics. I've done some Pride films before, or at least some pictures, reaction to pictures that do deal with gay or lesbian themes, And this one seems like it deals with transgenderism. Now, we have a lot of Flix talkers that are either transgenders or part of the LGBTQ community. And I want to be inclusive to everybody. Hopefully, everybody can be on board with that. And, I look at it like this. People are going to live their own life. I'm going to live my own life. If they don't pay my bills, I don't pay them any mind. I just want everybody to be collectively good to one another in the chat or in the comments, regardless of your beliefs, especially when it comes to, sexual orientation or politics or other things that could possibly divide us. It's been crazy. You guys watch the news. You guys know how it is. But we're here for some movies, and I thought this one would be interesting to talk about, as I've never heard it, but it was on the top of the public domain list, and it is directed by Ed Wood. And when I saw that, I don't think I've seen an Ed Wood movie. So I wanted to go through, let me see, Ed Wood movies. We're going to talk about what this movie's about in case you guys have no clue. Let's see. Ed Wood is known and awfully critically panned. I did hear that. But now cult classic films. His most famous works include Glen or Glenda, which we're going to get into today, Bride of the Monster, and Plan 9 from Outer Space, which is down there. We will be watching that very soon. Let's see. He has a movie called Jailbait, Night of the Ghouls, Crossroads of Loretto, Take It Out in Trade. A lot of movies. Somebody told me that there actually is a movie about him starring Johnny Depp as Ed Wood. I could be wrong about that. But you guys let me know if you've seen this one. We're going to go over the synopsis. We're going to talk about it a little bit. And then we're going to get directly into the movie. So hopefully you guys have some popcorn. Got some snacks. Ed Wood with Johnny Depp, yeah. Pedro, what's up, guys? I'm going to say what's up to the chat before we also get into it. And hopefully we're just here for a good time in cinema. I really don't know what this movie is about. I don't know if it's a propaganda film or if it's going to be, a little different than what I'm thinking. I mean, we're talking about a movie from the 50s. So their idea of gay, lesbian, and other were, when it comes to sexual orientation or just identity was completely different. I mean, I know it's a hot button topic now, but once again, I'm the most inclusive person here, guys, especially when it comes to something like this or diversity and whatnot. I give my honest opinions on things as they are displayed to me. So feel free to ask any questions in the chat. Let's be respectful once again. And these are some of the movies that we're going to go over. I keep finding more and more public domain movies that I want to add. So this is not just going to be a summer thing, guys. If these go well, which I think they are, a lot of you guys are subscribing because of this. A lot of you guys are really digging some of the older content. I've been really going back and trying to pick and choose what older movies, even series like The Twilight Zone, it's doing very well. I reacted to the first 2 Twilight Zone episodes. We got like over 200 subscribers from that video. That's a big deal to me. So I'm going to keep going and going with what the people want, with what you guys want. And that being said, let's jump to the chat. We're going to talk about what this movie's about in a second, and then we'll get right into the movie, guys. All right. Nice and situated. I got the fan blowing on me. I feel good, guys. Because dang it, it's been hot. Now it is feeling like summer. Now it is feeling like summer. We got Prairie Hawker in here first, saying when Ed Wood landed on Tarawa in WW2, he was not worried about death. He did, however, worry he would be captured by the Japanese wearing the pink panties he wore under his Marine uniform. Oh, wow. Is that true or is that a troll? I don't know if that's real. Either way, it's kind of funny. That is, I'm wearing a little pink myself today. I got the purplish background and stuff like that. Let's see. Amanda's saying, hey, what's up? What's up, guys? Amanda was telling me she might be a little hungover. Is that from your birthday? Happy belated birthday, by the way. She had a birthday last week, guys. Everyone tell her happy birthday in the chat. You're in your mid-30s now, girl. Don't go too hard. Don't go too hard. I just hit 40 this year, and I'm feeling it. Every damn morning I wake up, I feel it. We got Waylon in the building. What's up, Waylon? Good to see you in here, my friend. Cleon, what's up, my friend? I got the claps. There you go. You got the claps. Or you got the clap. Pedro, what's up, my friend? Coming in here. All the usual suspects. I love it. Braxton made it in here all the way from Louisiana. We got Louisiana in the building. Pedro is saying Charade is a great classic. I can't wait to watch that one. I cannot wait to watch that one, as well as Little Shop of Horrors, the original with Jack Nicholson. By the way, I have not seen any of these films on that list I just showed you guys, other than Carnival of Souls. I had seen it, so we kicked it off with that one. But it was such a good rewatch because I, didn't remember a thing. Cleon is saying men shouldn't clean the. Oh, men should clean the toilet. I thought you were on some alpha shit right now. Men should clean the toilet. Yeah. I mean, I'm the one that has, I'm aiming and shooting, so to speak, without getting too graphic. Sometimes I don't make it in the bowl, especially in the middle of the night. So what do you expect? Of course I'm going to clean it. I don't mind. I do dishes. I don't care about that stuff, guys. If shit is dirty and my girl can't get to it, I will get to it. And that's how it should be. It's a give and take. It really is. It's a team effort. Let's see. Waylon is saying it's been nearly 90 degrees today, so soaked in sweat, we'll shower later. There you go. You should have showered before the movie. You gotta sit and bask in your own stench. Well, that's fine, I guess. Yes, let's be respectful in the chat. Once again, the wheel spin is awesome. Yes, if you guys are not subscribed to the Patreon, please, and you want to watch more content or content in full, I know people have been telling me, hey, where are the movies at? They are coming. Trust me, next week I'm grinding so hard on YouTube movies, the YouTube edits. It just takes a lot of time, guys. I have a full-time job here. And I try to do all this other content as well as news and live streams and stuff like that, as well as these live streams where we're watching full movies together. So they are coming. And I have a lot of fun ones coming as well. But the Patreon wheel, what they're talking about in the chat is that every month, you guys can give me your top 3 movies. And out of all those movies, I compile them into a list. I randomize it. I throw them onto a wheel that randomly spins. And I will pick 2 to watch in the following month. So July is coming up, guys. And I'll be putting up that spin. Or everybody's giving me their picks already. If you're on Patreon, you guys are already giving me your picks. So that means July 1st, which I believe is Tuesday, I am going to be picking at random 2 movies that you guys will see. And hopefully they're good. Sometimes they're like very, very rare gems. And sometimes they're big blockbuster movies that I've never seen. But for the most part, they're movies that I've never seen. That's great. Yes, and Waylon is part of the Patreon as well. Oh, she's saying the movie gave her a hangover. Yeah, she said she watched Johnny Darko recently. And I didn't know there was a director's cut. My favorite damn movie. I did not know the director's cut. I think I've only seen the theatrical. Could be wrong about that. All right, that being said, guys, we're going to get into Glen or Glenda. We're going to read about what this is about. All right. So Glen or Glenda is a 1953 American independent exploitation film directed, written by, and starring Ed Wood. Starring Ed Wood. Didn't know that. All right, I'm reading this for the first time along with you guys. So exploitation films, I've seen a few of them. I've seen a few blaxploitation films as well, too, that were very, very fun. Like Coffee. God, I really wanted to catch like Blackula and I saw Shaft. That was a really good one, too, because that actor had passed away when I watched it. And okay, let's see. I like exploitation movies. They're definitely a genre in their own. And featuring Wood's then girlfriend, Dolores Fuller, and Bela Lugosi. Bela Lugosi? All right. Okay, that's a name I know. We got some Dracula up in here. It was produced by George Weiss, who also made the exploitation film Test Tube Babies the same year. Okay, so it seems like he is very controversial. Because talking about, transgenderism or test tube babies in the 50s, I think is ahead of its time. Now, don't get me wrong. I feel like any filmmaker should be free to talk about whatever they want to talk about. Nothing should be taboo. Now, should I be forced to watch it? No. I'm choosing to watch it. But the fact that he did Glen or Glenda and Test Tube Babies in the same year is very interesting to me. So the film is a docu-drama about cross-dressing and transvestism. Do they still use the word transvestite? I'm not sure about that. And is semi-autobiographical in nature. Wood himself was a cross-dresser, and the film is a plea for tolerance. So that comment that was left in the chat, Prairie Hawker, that I just read a little while ago, seemed to be true. It was widely considered one of the worst films ever made upon release. Okay, this is what I like to hear before I watch a movie. That I'm about to watch the worst movie ever made. Oh, you guys are up for something beautiful. Oh yeah, Cleon, we're going to be watching some Abbott and Costello coming up too. I found a couple of good ones. That were fair use, so that'll be fun because I've never seen an Abbott and Costello movie. Let's see. However, it has since been reevaluated and become a cult classic due to its low-budget production values, idiosyncratic style, that's a hard one for me, and early cinematic themes of transgender acceptance. Okay. And like I had said before, guys, it is Pride Month, and I thought this would be interesting to tackle since it is a huge hot-button topic. We're very inclusive here. I talk movies. I don't try to be divisive or anything like that. Obviously, if you have an opinion different than mine, I'm going to give you guys my opinion. And, you know, I say this all the time, but I still get comments for people telling me that my opinion is wrong and I am incorrect and I should delete my video and I should delete my channel. Okay. I'm going to tell you like this. A wise person told me these words. Opinions cannot be wrong because they are true to the people speaking them. I can tell you the sky is green. You can tell me the sky is blue. I will give you my reasoning for the sky being green. You don't have to accept it. I'm just saying it. That's it. All right? Now, hopefully we can all be on the same page with things like that and watch some good movies, y'all. You know? And I'm going to give you guys my honest thoughts, and I know we're talking about a movie that's over, 70 years old, pretty much, or about 70 years old. And once again, if you guys weren't aware, I'm going to try to do these live streams once a week, once a weekend, if not once every other weekend, as last week I wanted to kick off summer. So we did Carnival of Souls from 1962. It was great. It was fantastic. It was very, very fun. Now I wanted to do Glen or Glenda, directed by Ed Wood, starring Ed Wood, Bela Lugosi, and Ed Wood's girlfriend at the time, it says, which I believe is 1953. 1953. Be kind. And let's just get directly into Glen or Glenda, okay? I will be talking along the way. Please hit that big thumbs up. Subscribe to jump in the chat. This is a subscriber chat only, okay? So if you guys are watching and you're hate watching, you want to let your presence be known, please jump in the chat. By the way, this movie's only an hour and 8 minutes. All right. See, I'm not going to keep you guys that long. God, I wonder how this was received back in the day, too, man. People had to have been losing their minds over something like this. Ah, that good old golden age cinema music. I got distracted. Oh, we're reading. In the making of this film, which deals with strange and curious subject, no punches have been pulled. No easy way out has been taken. Many of the smaller parts are portrayed by a person who they actually are in real life, the character they portray on the screen. This is a picture of stark realism, taking no sides but giving you the facts, all the facts as they are today. You are society, judge ye not. I can't read, by the way. Oh, is that Bela Lugosi? Looks like Dracula.
Man's constant groping of things unknown, drawing from the endless reaches of time, brings to light many startling things. Startling because they seem new, sudden. But most are not new to the signs of the ages.
It's almost like a Frankenstein intro. Wonder what he's making here. Is he gonna make Glen or Glenda?
Life has begun. People, all going somewhere, all with their own thoughts, their own ideas, all with their own personalities. One is wrong because he does right. One is right because he does wrong. Pull the string. Dance to that which one is created for.
I like that transparent effect. That was probably a big deal back then.
A new day is begun. A new life is begun. A life is ended.
Let me see that note.
The records will tell the story. I was put in jail recently. Why? Because I, a man, was caught on the street wearing women's clothing. This was my 4th arrest for the same act.
You can go to jail for that?
I
Back
must
then?
continue wearing them. Therefore, it would only be a matter of time until my next arrest. This is the only way. Let my body rest in death forever in the things I cannot wear in life.
Wow.
Inspector Warren is here to see you, Dr. Alton.
Oh, yes. Show him in, Miss Stevens. Inspector?
Doctor?
Sit down.
Thank you. You're a very busy man, Dr. Alton, I know. I appreciate this time you're giving me.
Business or pleasure, Inspector?
In a way, business. From policeman to inspector, 20 years of it. I guess I've seen everything there is for a policeman to see. Yet I wonder if we ever stop learning. Learning about which we see. Trying to learn more about an ounce of prevention. I'm a man who thrives on learning. We only have one life to live. If we throw that one away, what is there left? Doctor, I'm hoping to learn something from you. And with that knowledge, maybe save some human from a fate which I just witnessed a few days ago. A 4-time loser. This type of case comes to me as well as yourself many times during the course of 1 month.
The suicide?
The suicide.
Most of us have our idiosyncrasies.
This fellow's was quite pronounced.
Yes, but I wonder if it rated the death warrant it received.
Well, that's why I'm here today, Doctor. What do we do about it?
I've always heard you to be a hard-hearted policeman, Inspector.
Isn't that what's thought of most policemen? The laws are written. The policeman is hired to see that those laws are enforced. We have a job to do. As in most jobs, there's always somebody who doesn't want that job to be done. In most factories today, the employer has put up suggestion boxes. Even the employer needs advice once in a while. I think in the case that we're referring to, I need advice. Maybe it shouldn't have happened as it did. But it did. Perhaps the next time we can prevent it.
Let's get our story straight. You're referring to the suicide of the transvestite?
If that's the word you men of medical science use for a man who wears woman's clothing, yes.
Yes, in cold, technical language, that's the word. As unfriendly and as vicious as it may sound. However, in actuality, it's not an unfriendly word, nor is it vicious when you know the people to whom it pertains.
Would this operation do these people any good? I understand you were quite prominent in a case that hit the headlines a few weeks ago.
In some cases, yes, others, no.
Well, the papers certainly had a field day with that one.
Strange as it may seem, even though it was a field day, as you so aptly put it, it's not a new story. Sex change has been performed many times. Those whose sex can be changed, they're the easy ones. But what of those who so desperately want to be of the opposite sex, yet can't change their sex? Such as was the case with Patricia, the suicide.
I'd like to understand this, Doctor, as best you can tell me.
Okay, so that wasn't Glen or Glenda. That was Patricia.
The sex change by taking 2 entirely different cases. 2 men with exactly the same background, from childhood to manhood and on to their own decisions and destinations.
I'd like to hear the story to the fullest.
Only the infinity of the depths of a man's mind can really tell the story.
Here we go. By the way, I didn't know they were giving sex changes back then.
Dr. Alton. A young man, though he is, speaks the words of the All-Wise. No one can really tell the story. Mistakes are made. But there is no mistaking the thoughts in a man's mind.
Bro, who are you? Are you God or what's happening here?
Is begun.
So confused.
One might say, there, but for the grace of God, go I.
So is this Ed Wood? World shocked by sex change.
The modern world shocked by this headline. Why? Once, not so very long ago, the people of the world were saying,
airplanes. Why, it's against the Creator's will. If the Creator wanted us to fly, he'd have given us wings.
True.
we fly. Maybe some of you may still remember an even sillier remark.
Automobiles? Bah. They scare the hosses. If the Creator had meant for us to roll around the countryside, we'd have been born with wheels.
Silly? Certainly. We were not born with wings.
I love those remarks right there.
But in the modern world of today, it's an accepted fact that we must have them. So we have corrected that which nature has not given us. Strangely enough, nature has given us all these things. We just had to learn how to put nature's elements together for our use, that's all. Yet, the world is shocked by a sex change.
If the Creator had wanted us to fly, he'd have given us wings.
If the Creator had meant us to roll around the countryside, we'd have been born with wheels.
If the Creator had meant us to be boys, we certainly would have been born boys.
If the Creator had meant us to be born girls, we certainly would have been born girls.
Are we sure? Nature makes mistakes.
Interesting.
It's proven every day.
I like those close-up shots too.
This person is a transvestite, a man who is more comfortable wearing girls' clothes. The term transvestite is the name given by medical science to those persons who wear the clothing of the opposite sex. Many a transvestite actually wishes to be the opposite sex. The title of this can only be labeled Behind Locked Doors. Give this man satin undies, a dress, a sweater, and a skirt, or even the lounging outfit he has on, and he's the happiest individual in the world. He can work better, think better, he can play better, and he can be more of a credit to his community and his government because he is happy. These things are his comfort. But why the wig and makeup? He dares to enter the street dressed in the clothes he so much desires to wear, but only if he really appears female. The long hair, the makeup, the clothing, the actual contours of a girl. Most transvestites do not want to change their life, their bodies. Many of them simply want to change the clothing they wear to that is worn by the opposite sex. Glen is engaged to be married to Barbara, a lovely, intelligent girl.
Those fingernails have got to go.
You know, I didn't realize they're as long as they are.
My goodness, they're almost as long as mine. Maybe even prettier. We'll have to paint them sometime just for the fun of it.
We'll trim them.
That's for sure.
Oh, that's Glen?
You invited me to dinner so many times in the last couple of months. It's almost like we were married already.
I wish we were, darling. It's been a long year.
For both of us.
But now, my studies are through, college is concluded, and I'm free at last.
I'll be honest, I wasn't paying attention. I was checking her out. She's kind of fine.
How about joining me for an after-dinner drink?
The living room?
Mm-hmm.
Modern man is a hard-working human. Throughout the day, his mind and his muscles are busy at building the modern world and its business administration. His clothing is rough, coarse, starched, according to the specifications of his accepted job. At home, what does modern man have to look forward to for his body comfort? The things provided for his home, a wool or flannel robe, his feet encased in the same thick, tight-fitting leather that his shoes are made of. These are the things provided for his home comfort. It doesn't look so comfortable, does it? And get the hat. Better still, get the receding hairline. Men's hats are so tight they cut off the blood flow to the head, thus cutting off the growth of hair.
I don't believe that.
Out of 10 men wear a hat.
Nah, I wear hats all the time, and I got a thick head of hair, so that's a lie. It's a lie.
But what about the ladies?
HB Media knows.
Modern woman is a hard-working individual also, but when modern woman's day of work is done, that which is designed for her home comfort is comfort. Hats that give no obstruction to the blood flow. Hats that do not crush the hair. Interesting thought, isn't it?
Yeah, men and women are different for sure.
For comparison, let's
The fuck?
back to the animal instinct. There, in the lesser civilized part of the world, it's the male who adorns himself with the fancy objects, such as paints, frills, and masks. The true instinct, the animal instinct, bird and animal life. Is it not so that it's the male who is the fancy one? Could it be that the male was meant to attract the attention of the female?
You're coming with me, girl.
Where is the animal instinct in modern civilization? Female has the fluff and the finery, as specified by those who design and sell. Little Miss Female, you should feel quite proud of the situation.
I don't know about you guys, but
Predominantly men.
I wear shorts and no socks in the house. Like, I just walk around just very free.
Perfume. But life, even though its changes are slow, moves on. There's no law against wearing such apparel on the street, as long as it can be distinguished that man is man and woman is woman. But what is it that would happen were this individual to appear this way on the street? You're doing it now, laughing. Yet, it's not a situation to be laughed at. Thus, the strange case of Glen, who was Glenda, one and the same person, not half man, half woman, but nevertheless, man and woman in the same body, even though by all outward appearances, Glen is fully and completely a man.
Wow, living that double life. What a conundrum, man.
Sister, let me borrow her dress.
You want to borrow your sister's dress? What for?
I want to wear it to the Halloween party.
There are names for boys who go around wearing girls' clothes.
Oh, don't be silly, darling. You go ahead and wear your sister's dress, Glen. You always did look much better as a girl than you do as a man.
Glen did wear the dress to the Halloween party. He even took first prize.
So this has been happening since he was little. Well, look like a teenager there, maybe. I don't know.
One day, it wasn't Halloween any longer.
Gonna get caught?
I wish I had the sight into such things to be able to advise you, Sheila. Maybe if you took the problem to a doctor.
It's Glen that needs the doctor. But when things like this go wrong with someone so close and in your own family, it's so hard to believe.
It's not really hard to believe. It's just hard for you to accept.
Oh, she's a sister?
It's hard for me to accept. Suppose I were to come home with Roy or one of my other boyfriends some night and find Glen like I did last night.
Yeah, that would be hard to explain.
That's the understatement of the year. Just how does one go about introducing your friends to your brother when brother's wearing your best sweater and your skirt and makeup to boot?
That's tough. She's like, I don't know, girl. You deal with your own shit.
Transvestite, but he is not a homosexual. Transvestism is the term given by medical science to those persons who desperately wish to wear the clothing of the opposite sex, yet whose sex life in all instances remains quite normal. Would you be surprised a tough individual was wearing pink satin undies under his rough exterior clothing? He is. Then there is your friend the milkman who knows how to find comfort at home.
I can't stand it any longer. He wears all my clothes. Nothing is sacred to him, even my briefs.
He has every one of my sweaters stretched out of shape. Of course, he has always replaced them. But then, they didn't last long either.
But, Your Honor, ruffles on his shirts and shorts. Really?
Glen and all the hundreds of thousands of other Glens.
Did she take him to court or something? What was that about?
Glen is engaged to be married to Barbara, a lovely, intelligent girl. The problem? Glenda, Glen's other self. The girl that he himself is, his other individual personality.
You look tired tonight, Glen.
Yeah, I guess I am. It's been a long day.
Have you seen the paper yet?
No, why?
Isn't that a strange case? I wonder how some people's mind works.
Well, some people aren't happy the way they are.
That's a pretty drastic step to take.
If it's the only way, I'm for it.
I wonder what I would do in a case like that if I were in the mental turmoil that person went through. Or if I suddenly realized that something was mentally wrong with you. Ooh, it's hard to visualize. Here we are, two perfectly normal people, got to be married and lead a normal life together. And there's this poor fellow who never could have been happy if it wasn't for modern medical science. Our fourth term in psychology explains a lot of the facts. But I'm afraid the end of study is only the beginning of reality.
Glen's problem is a deep one, but he must tell her soon. She's begun to notice things. His nails, his eyes when he looks into a ladies' store window. So many of the little things that are hard to hide. Soon she will realize.
This is like a documentary for sure.
Wearing the sweater Glen had always wanted to feel on his own body. It was becoming an obsession to him. He must have.
What's the matter, Glen, darling?
I guess I was daydreaming.
He's like, girl, what size shirt is that? Does that fit me?
Why don't you tell me?
It's nothing.
Once, long ago, just after we started going steady together, we promised we'd never lie to each other.
Going steady.
Are we going to start now, just because we're engaged to be married?
It's just that... Oh, Barbara, it's nothing that a little sleep won't cure. It's been an awful long day.
It's more than that. Come on, tell me, darling. Who knows? Maybe I can help.
That's just it, you could.
Then something is troubling you.
Yes,
Do I have a right to know?
you have a right to know. But let's just say for the moment that I'm afraid to tell you. I'm afraid I'd lose you.
Nothing could be as bad as all that. I love you, and you love me. And nothing in the world can change that.
I hope not. I really hope not.
Glen, is it another woman?
Technically it is. So it's very interesting because it said he's not a homosexual, just wants to dress like a woman, but he still wants to be with her.
Mistakes made. A story must be told.
Always the same. He's not had the nerve to tell her. But he must soon come to some conclusion or forget the marriage. Should he tell Barbara of his Glenda now, before the wedding, or hit her between the eyes with it after, when it might be too late for either of them? The world is a strange place to live in. All those cars, all going someplace, all carrying humans which are carrying out their lives.
That looks like L.A. Someone said New York. I don't think this is New York.
Person who changed his sex. Glenda is shocked also, but by another reason. Someone like her had the nerve to do something factual about their situation. There's so many problems for Glen and all the other Glens. Perhaps the fear of discovery of the underthings they wear beneath their regular outer clothing, or that which they wear during their nightly visit to Morpheus, god of sleep.
Thank you very much, and I'm sure she's going to enjoy it very much. If you want to return it, be sure that you bring the sales slip. Thank you. Can I help you, sir?
Yeah. Let me see a 90.
Well, what size?
12.
The color and the material?
Black? I'm very sure.
Just a minute.
She's like, 12, big girl, huh?
Something like that? Something like this? Has lace?
Yeah.
Perhaps he admires the material too long.
You can see how sheer the material really is.
Yes.
You see, it's all pure nylon and only $21.95. And of course, it will never snag.
That's a deal.
But Glen and Glenda and all the Glens and Glendas have an even bigger problem.
Hi, Joe.
Hiya, Jack.
Monday again.
You know, I think Monday is about the worst day of the week. A perfectly wonderful weekend, then back to the sweatshops.
Too bad we was born to work. Say, did you read about the guy that aims to a girl? Says he was perfectly normal, too.
How can a guy be normal and go and do a thing like that to himself?
All the same, it must take a lot of guts to pull a stunt like that.
That's a problem I don't ever intend to face.
Maybe it's a problem we should all face.
I don't get you.
Just think of the unhappy life. The miserable time this world of ours must have given that poor guy.
I still don't get you.
Now, here is a guy who wanted to be a girl. Supposing there had been no way to change.
You sound as if you're really head up on this thing.
I guess I am.
Do you realize what would happen if every man in the country that wanted to wear women's clothes or felt like a woman went to their doctors and wanted to change?
Of course. That's why I say perhaps society should be a little bit more lenient with them. Maybe society should try to understand them as human beings.
Bringing up those conversations that are making people think.
Thank goodness. See you tomorrow, Jack.
That's when it starts with conversation, right?
Hi, Glen.
Hi, Johnny.
Come on in and hit it right for the kitchen. I can't let that dinner burn. You know, I thought I was going to have to eat alone tonight.
Well, you probably will because I've already eaten.
What's up?
Nothing much.
Say, you really look down in the dumps.
I guess I got a problem.
Haven't we all?
I mean a real problem, one like I've never had to face before.
Our whole existence is one big problem after another.
I want to get married.
You have a problem. When did this all come about?
For nearly a year, I've been engaged to a very wonderful girl. Now the time is getting very close to the man with the book. I'm scared to death.
You love her?
Very much.
Does she love you?
Yes.
There's no problem. Marry the girl.
Are you forgetting about my other self?
You'll have to tell her, of course.
Yeah. I have to tell her. But when? Before? Or after?
I think you know the answer to that one yourself.
My mind's in a muddle. Like in a thick fog. I can't make sense to myself sometimes. I thought I could stop wearing these things. I tried, honestly, I tried. I haven't had a stitch of them on for nearly 2 weeks until tonight. Then I couldn't stand it anymore. I had to put them on or go out of my mind. I'm afraid I'll lose her. I don't want that to happen because I really love her.
Okay. Here's a story from fact.
Johnny tells his story. He had not too long ago been married himself. He had kept quiet about his transvestite desires in the hopes that the new wife would never discover it. However, one day, the little woman came home unexpectedly an hour early.
The hands on the hip is so funny.
Will your problem be like mine? Most probably it will.
Yeah, you got to tell her before, dude.
Because the love hasn't been built up for such a thing. She, your wife, she will not have been taught enough about the problems to cope with it.
Glenda must now make her decision, or forever forget the marriage to Barbara. Glenda should consult a competent psychiatrist, but then very few transvestites wish to change their strange desires. This is their life. To take it away from them might do as great a harm as taking away an arm or a leg, or life itself. Many even carry their transvestite desires to the grave with them. Yes, it is a problem. But Glenda, remember back almost a year ago when Glen and Barbara accepted each other?
Okay.
That's the 6th time you've said goodnight.
I guess it is. Look. Come on over here a minute.
What is it?
Never mind, just sit down.
This woman's a looker, man. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I was beginning to think you'd never get around to
I
it.
believe we read that this was his actual girlfriend at the time, Ed Wood.
When?
I must finish college first. It's only 7 months to go.
Well, now, that's hardly long enough for you to get a trousseau together.
How would you know about such things? Glen, what's the matter?
Huh?
All of a sudden, you seem 1,000 miles off.
Yes, I guess I was, huh? That's a mighty pretty dress you're wearing tonight.
I wear my best to please you.
You know, when you look at me, you just tie me in knots.
I love to tie you in knots. Oh, I'll be so happy when these next few months are over.
Some special reason?
Of course. So you can stop kissing me goodbye at the door every night.
Yes.
So you can hold me close to you always.
Yes.
Then all you'll have to do is call and close your eyes and feel my lips on yours.
What? What happened?
Beware. Beware. Beware of the big green dragon that sits on your doorstep. He eats little boys. Puppy ducktails and big fat snails. Beware. Take care. Beware.
What in the hell is he talking about? This turned into a theater play. Okay, I get it. As Glenda, he couldn't save her. As Glen, he could. The male and female roles, I guess. I want to suck your blood. That's exactly how he sounded too. This is going over my head. I know I'm only laughing, guys, because I don't get it. Hopefully in the end I do. The devil's like, good, good. Yeah, it's very artistic and abstract and very theater.
Tell me, dragon, do you eat little boys? Puppy duck tails and big fat snails?
Who is a dragon?
Puppy dog tail. Puppy dog tail. Everything nice. Everything nice. Ha ha ha. Puppy dog tail.
What is happening? Bela Lugosi's at a peep show now? Oh my, what in the hell is happening? Guys, what is happening right now? I'm trying to understand this, but what is the hell is happening? This just turned into a porno. Hopefully they don't show anything. I wasn't ready for this. Is that the same wife or a different girl? That looks like a different girl. This whole movie just shifted right now. I can't be the only one that noticed this, right? I know it has a deeper meaning, guys. I'm just not getting it right now. Maybe this is why this movie got such a bad reception. And what is Bela Lugosi doing? Is he at a peep show? He seems like he's not enjoying this. No, Lugosi was drunk the whole time. I believe that. Don't show anything. Don't show it. I'm in awe right now. I have no clue what's happening. We're watching an assault happen, guys. I hope you know that. That she is succumbing to. He's like, I kind of like that. All right. Pass the booze.
Take care.
I'm sorry for that, guys. I had no clue what this movie was about or what they were going to be showing. Take that as you will. I'm very confused. There's still 23 minutes in the movie. All that just to kiss her. Yeah, I don't know. I promised myself in these watch-alongs I would not pause. I'm just so confused in this moment as to what we just saw. Is this going on in Glen's head? I need you guys' thoughts. What are your theories on what just happened in the last 10 minutes?
Puppy dog everything right. Ha, ha, ha. Puppy dog fail.
Welcome, Glenda. Well, this seems like a revelation. It seems like a breakthrough. Like a final acceptance, you know? No more hiding. But you need to tell the fiancé. You have to. Oh, they're wearing the same thing. I think. Huh. She making fun of him? They're all laughing at him. Oh, that devil is creepy, man.
Beware. Beware of the big green dragon that sits on your doorstep. He eats little boys, puppy dog tails, and big fat snails. Beware, take care. Beware.
Glenda has made the decision. Glen has decided to tell Barbara of his dual personality. To tell her of the nighties and negligees, the sweaters and skirts, the robes and dresses, the stockings and the high-heeled shoes, the wig and the makeup. All that goes to make Glen into Glenda. He tells Barbara he cannot cheat her of the knowledge that she, as his fiancée, should possess. All the facts. He tells her softly, hurriedly at first, then slowly as he becomes more technical. His hands move to caress the smooth material of her Angora sweater, which he has so long and so desperately wanted to put on his own body. He tells of this to her, and she looks to the sweater and to his hand. Then, when it is all over and that much of the story he knows is told, Barbara is not sure of her own thoughts.
That's about it, darling. I wanted to tell you for a long, long time, but just couldn't bring myself to do it. I've been too much afraid of losing you.
If you love them, just you got to stay with them. I know this is a deep conflict right here, but if you love a person, you got to accept them for who they are, I know it can get rough for you, but if it's something you can deal with, stay together. If it's too much of a burden, then I guess let it go,
Glen, I don't fully understand this, but maybe together we can work it out.
Oh, that is the best response right there. That is the best response. I was not expecting this. I was not expecting that.
Is that the end of the story?
Not quite. I'll get back to it in a minute. Glen's case is really the lesser advanced type cases. The second case is an extremely advanced one. However, I'll get to that in a moment. First, you must realize that each transvestite the world over has his own particular problem. Each case must be handled individually according to the person, his past life, and his problem.
And he isn't a hermaphrodite?
No more than he's a pseudohermaphrodite. Glen's case was entirely of his mind.
What is a pseudohermaphrodite?
His early youth.
What about their children, Doctor? Would their children become the same way their father is?
No. Transvestism is not hereditary.
Well, what makes these men want to wear girls' clothes?
Many things. But as I've said before, it usually starts in early childhood from one cause or another. Technically, each case has the same beginning, just a different set of circumstances.
Are any of them actually cured?
Oh, yes, many, many of them. Once the source of supply is found, it can be stopped, unless the patient refuses to cut off that source of supply.
Then the way I get it, this Glen and the character he created, much as an author creates a character in a book, was invented as a love object to take the place of the love he never received in his early youth through lack of it from his parents. The character was created and dressed and lives the life the author designs for him to live, and dies only when the author wants him to die.
Correct. Except that for the character Glenda to die, the elements must be right. But to enlighten you a little further, there's the second story, that of an extremely advanced case. Let's call this person Alan, Ann. Alan had a mother who wanted a little girl. The father didn't care much one way or the other.
We have another story?
Did not enter the competitive sports that the other boys at the school did. However, he was an extremely studious boy and always had above average marks in his subjects. Yet sports, girls' sports, he always was interested in. But he was rejected by the girls and also rejected by the boys. It seems he belonged to neither of them. After school, Alan would go home to find the mother who had always wanted a girl and the father who didn't care one way or the other. He enjoyed doing the woman's work around the house. Alan was becoming a woman and didn't realize it. A woman in mind only, but the mind rules. Then came the fateful year of 1941. Alan was drafted. He was accepted. In the Army, he successfully passed his vigorous training. He did not like it, but then there were the weekends for his particular diversions. On his weekend passes, he would go to the nearest town where he had a suitcase checked in a public locker.
Oh, wow. Oh, so this is the story of Ed Wood then, right here.
That which made his body appear to be what his mind believed it was.
World War II.
Then the day of embarkation came. But wherever Alan went, the suitcase was sure to go.
bored as hell, man. I hope we don't ever get this again. I really hope we don't.
Then, as quickly as it had begun, the war was over. Alan came home. Alan had learned all the terms directed at men like himself, but no one had found out his aversion. He was honorably discharged from the service at the end of the war. He'd received the Silver Star and the Bronze Star for gallantry in action. While he was in an army hospital recuperating from a wound he had received in New Guinea, he learned a very interesting fact. He learned that foreign doctors were doing marvelous work with a sex change, man to woman, woman to man. Shortly after his separation from service, Alan came to me for advice. There followed many long sessions with my clinical reports and the reports of eminent doctors. It had been found that Alan was really a pseudohermaphrodite. A hermaphrodite is one who has the organs of both the male and female in plain sight. A pseudohermaphrodite is one who has one perfectly formed organ of either sex and one imperfectly formed one that's difficult to detect. Alan was of the latter.
What?
Alan was then given his choice. That which nature had given him was a mistake. It was up to us to correct that mistake one way or the other. Alan had to decide whether he wanted to become a man or she wanted to become a woman. Both were completely possible. Small boned, fair of complexion, his hair thin like a woman's, his body slim, hips slightly girlish. It was easy to see his decision, along with the fact that he had been brought up from early childhood to believe that a woman was the thing to be. Alan decided to become a woman. This, after all the help I could give him, was only the beginning. During the following 2 years, he was to go through the tortures of the damned. But never was there a whimper from him, because he knew that at the end of it all, he would at last be that which he had always dreamed. Hundreds of hormone shots were injected into various parts of his body. Alan's face was worked on with plastic surgery to smooth out the female elements. Long, tedious hours of work.
Whoa. I didn't know they were doing all this back then.
Or the starting of many big days, for it was to take many. The series of operations are performed slowly and at intervals to prevent any unnecessary shock to the nervous system. Still, the hormone shots continue, day after day, week after week, month after month. And even then, when the operation is over, the sex is changed, the shots must continue as long as Alan lives.
Oh my God. Jesus.
First, the breasts are brought out. The body of the woman within begins to appear now.
So maybe this isn't the story of Ed Wood, because I read that he was a cross-dresser, but I don't think he got a full surgery.
Of the man and the formation of the woman.
Yeah, the editing is very bad in this. Okay, so goodbye to Alan and hello. Did they give the female name? I don't remember hearing that. Am I wrong? But Bela Lugosi is playing some godlike character.
But in time, Alan is Anne.
Anne.
A very happy, lovely young lady that modern medicine and science has created almost as a Frankenstein monster. The newspapers heard of it and hit the story with their usual fullness. If the newspapers had not gotten hold of the story, it would have gone untold, unnoticed as so many others in medical history. The sex change has been performed hundreds of times. However, right here, in this particular sex switch, it's not the end. Acting the woman and being the woman are two entirely different things. Alan had all his life acted the part of the woman. Now he is that woman and must learn how it's done. Anne must learn how to do her own hair, how to make the correct styling for her facial contours. The proper walk must be adopted. A lady is a lady, whatever the case may be. Continuing my own psychiatric treatment, it was my duty now to explain to Anne the duty of a woman and her... Alan, of course, had known the man's, but he was soon to realize...
Duty of the woman to smoke the cigarettes.
...about a woman's. Yet, through it all, Anne loved every minute of it. Anne was indeed meant to be a woman, and now that the sex change had been completed, Anne was a very happy woman, and a woman who was eager to learn, and now was accepted by society. A woman born at the age of 24, in a world that for 24 years she had seen as a man, but a woman who now would, and was properly instructed in how to accept, a woman's world.
That's so wild. That is so wild.
This case, which has a happy ending, is due entirely to the corrections made by medical science. I've had several such cases. In fact, in my 20 years of practice, I've been prominent in 7. However, my colleagues have had hundreds.
Then you believe that the Glen of the first story should have the sex change?
In Glen's case, no. No, indeed. Glen would never be happy with a sex change.
The Alan of your story ended happy?
I'll tell it to you exactly as I told it to them. Shortly after Glen told Barbara of his love for girls' clothing, he started treatments with me. On the last treatment, both he and Barbara came to me. I told them the same story of Alan, Anne, as I've told it to you, Inspector. Anne was a pseudohermaphrodite. Even though one of the sexes was imperfect, she had the organs and the characteristics of both the male and female. Glen's case is an entirely different type of case. Remember I said, no matter what the case, it's a different thing. A new problem to be looked into, then solved. A new challenge to the psychoanalysis. Glen's body holds only one sex, that of the male. In all our talks, I've learned these pertinent facts. Glen's father had no love for his son. His father wanted Glen to be a football hero or a baseball player, so that he could brag to his cronies down at the corner saloon.
That's the actor that played the devil, no? In makeup? So the devil was his father.
Glen's fictitious character. He invented it when he could find no love from his mother and no love from his father. His mother had hated her own father. Glen reminded her of her father. Therefore, she gave all her affection, love, and attention to her daughter. Glen then decided also to become a daughter. Glen, you can kill this fictitious character of yours anytime you wish. For your happy ending, it's the only way.
Then you think I can kill this second character by transferring her qualities to Barbara?
Exactly. But as the author and his character, the elements must be right. It's up to you, Barbara. You must take the place, give the love, and accept the facts that Glenda has always accepted. If you love each other as you now believe you do, well, it'll be a hard job, but you'll enjoy doing the job.
Should I let him continue to wear girls' clothing? Or should I put my foot down?
If you put your foot down, you'd only go behind closed doors. Love is the only answer. Glenda must be transferred to you.
Supposing Glen never gets over wearing girls' clothing.
Would it matter to you very much?
I love Glen. I'll do everything I can to make him happy.
I mean, they're going to put you to the test. Wait till Glenda shows up wearing your clothes. You might be singing a different tune, girl. I don't know.
The end is only the beginning. Time passes. Soon, due to a happily married life, the remembrance of the psychiatric treatments and Barbara's love and understanding, Glenda begins to disappear forever from Glen. Glen has found his mother, his little sister, his wife, and his Glenda, all in one lovely package. Thus, Glen's case has a happy conclusion.
Oh, wow.
Therefore, two entirely different cases, handled in two entirely different ways, have a happy ending.
Yeah, those two. But what of the hundreds of other less fortunate Glens the world over?
Have we come to a consensus on who Bela Lugosi is?
Yes. But what of the others? Less fortunate Glens, the world over. Oh, snips and snails and puppy dog tails.
I think he might have been like the god of transgenders. Because he was showing, and kind of commanding and controlling people's transformation, so to speak, or transition. And there we go, guys. Glen or Glenda? Wow. What was that? 1953. All right. We completed another live watch along, guys. The Flix Talk community is very inclusive of a lot of different people. And people have jumped in here that are part of the LGBTQ community. And I thought in the month of June, Pride Month especially, we could discuss something like this, because it's not only a topic for the 1950s, it's transcended generations, and it's now popped up as a topic of discussion in 2025. And we know this. I mean, we have eyes in our head. Some people, are not accepting. Some people are accepting. It's really dividing us. But you know what? The talking, the conversation is what I think is very, very important to have. And this movie as a whole, give me your guys' thoughts, by the way, and your questions. And if you guys hated it, did you guys like it? Were you guys confused by it? I thought it was an important conversation once again that was a bit combobulated as far as it didn't know what it wanted to do, this film. It wanted to instruct people and inform people on not just sexuality, but things going on in people's mind where they didn't know what gender they were, and conforming to society's norms, obviously, and being ostracized. And each case was different. That's one thing that the doctor said that really stood out, is each case is different when it comes to something like this. But at the end of the day, life is so much worse for these people when they do get ostracized by communities. So I think as a whole, as a society, we should do better. And even if we don't accept these things from people, that once again, they have no bearing on our life. It has no bearing on our life. It doesn't affect, they don't pay your mortgage. They don't pay your rent. So don't pay them any mind. All right. In the sense of if you are, demeaning towards them, just don't even engage with it. All right. Because I know, just based on what I see on Twitter and all this other shit, people can be very mean to what they don't understand. And I've just learned to, if it doesn't if it doesn't somehow change my way of living, then I'm not going to let it bother me. You know what I'm saying? Life is hard enough, man. Why throw more, wrenches, in the cogwheel of life, so to speak? So, and once again, like I said, we have a lot of people part of this community, this Flickstock community, where we not only talk movies, we talk everything else. You know, I try to get to know you guys as much as possible. You guys let me know in the comments or the chat what's going on in your life. We have a very a big bond here, the Flickstalkers. But someone did bring up that there is a person named Christine Jorgensen that was a famous trans woman. Okay, around this time. Oh yeah, she was born in the 1920s. So I'm just a little interested in the subject nature now that we have watched the movie. So let's see. Born George William Jorgensen Jr. was an American actress, singer, recording artist, and transgender activist. A trans woman, she was the first person to become widely known in the United States for having sex reassignment surgery. Okay. In 1944, Jorgensen was drafted into the Army. Was this a story that maybe they were basing it off of as well? That last story that we got? Drafted into the Army during World War II after she served as a military clerical worker. Jorgensen attended several schools, worked, and pursued a photography career. During this time, she learned about sex reassignment surgery and traveled to Europe, where in Copenhagen, Denmark, she obtained special permission to undergo a series of operations beginning in 1951. Excuse me. Upon her return to the United States in the early 1950s, her transition was the subject of the New York Daily News front page story. So just like this had to have been inspiration, because this was talked about in the newspaper constantly throughout Glen and Glenda, the movie. She became an instant celebrity, known for her directness and polished wit, and used the platform to advocate for transgender people. Her 1967 autobiography, Christine Jorgensen, A Personal Autobiography, sold almost 450,000 copies. Throughout her career, she gave lectures at colleges and universities on the topic of transsexuality, though she would later disassociate with the term transsexual and prefer the term transgender. Wow. And she had a successful career. This blows my mind. This blows my mind into what we know of transgenders today in 2025. It seems like we're going backwards. It seems like we're effing going backwards. I don't understand it. How is this person so accepted back then to even have a flourishing career as an author, an actress, a nightclub singer, it says recording artist, and this was in the 50s, 40s and 50s. Yet now we look at transgender people as monsters and Frankenstein people. And I know with social media, and I'm not going to tell you guys how to think or act or whatever. It's just what I've seen. From behind a dang phone, people can be so judgmental. That's what I think. That's where I think it's changed. Instead of being face to face with people, now we're behind screens. So now all of a sudden we're tough guys or we're tough girls. And we can talk shit. We can talk shit. But face to face, they would never do it. They would never. But that's very interesting. Thank you to whoever dropped that this person's name in the chat that we could talk about. And, add on to the story of Glen or Glenda, which I believe this person was definitely an inspiration for the film. So was this not Ed Wood? We have to go. No, I don't know. See if anybody let me know the cast, because it says that it was starring Ed Wood. So was Ed Wood Glenda? Yeah. Okay. Ed Wood was Glen. Yeah. Bela Lugosi as the scientist. Oh, okay. So Bela Lugosi wasn't. Okay, but let's talk about the movie. So the movie itself. Okay, we got Dolores Fuller as Barbara, Timothy Farrell as Dr. Alton, and Lyle Talbot as Inspector Warren. Okay, so the movie as a whole, like I had said, it was a good, like, kind of documentary style. Very, very discombobulated as far as the structure for me. I mean, it felt like a David Lynch movie, if I'm being completely honest, during the middle of that movie. That being said, the message still held true, from the first part and the third act of the movie. The middle, where it became very artistic and we dealt with more of Bela Lugosi, the scientist. It seemed like God's mistake was, so to speak, I'm using that in quotations. That's their words. God's mistake was like Bela Lugosi's doing as the scientist. I don't know if maybe I'm completely off base with that, because the scientist was creating all these concoctions and stuff like that in the lab, so to speak. And we got to see the character of Alan kneel before Bela Lugosi, the scientist, and then turn into Anna. So that's what if it goes deeper, then I completely missed the fucking plot. I completely missed it. I enjoyed it, but I would have directed it a little differently, possibly. So, and it's an important film. That's the one thing I could take away too, is that it was a very, very important trailblazer, pioneer trailblazer type of film, especially for its time in the early 50s. And I applaud Ed Wood for that. Also taking some references from his own life. So now I'm looking over here on IMDb. It has low ratings, 4.3 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 39%, which is very low. And even a 33% from audience scores. So the audience really didn't dig it, guys. Yet it became a cult following, it seems like. I wanted to see the reception over here, and then we're going to bid you guys adieu. All right, so describing the film as a half-mad old... what I wanted to say, too, this movie was extremely low budget. Extremely, extremely low budget. And it definitely showed. I mean, there was a lot of stock footage added and whatnot. A half-mad old movie, Paramount hasn't so much rescued or disinterred, a critic wrote in 1981 for the review. It's dreadful enough to have a certain comic appeal that the Lugosi character presides over the action like some sex change deity. I'm so glad I was not the only one that saw that. He was like a sex change deity. Okay? That it is impassioned and incoherent, but noted that there is plenty of inadvertent humor in Glen or Glenda, with its weirdo homilies, rotten acting, and frequent talk of underwater. Okay. 1980, Wood was I can never say this word. Posthumously given the accolade of worst director of all time at the Golden Turkey Awards. The Golden Turkey Awards. Good God. And a revival of interest in his work followed. This led to Glen or Glenda being reissued in 1981. This cut included 6 minutes of additional footage. One of the restored scenes features Glen. By the way, the copy that I had was so damn bad. It was really edited poorly. Just some of the dialogue was even choppy, like it was chopped up incorrectly. I got it from YouTube, guys, directly, as it is public domain. So blame whoever ripped that copy. That's all I got to say. One of the restored scenes features Glen rejecting a pass made to him by a man. Oh, they should have left that in. At this point, the film was reviewed seriously and reclaimed as a radical work by Steve Jenkins. All right. Oh, in 1994, Tim Burton chronicled the troubled production of Glen or Glenda in Ed Wood. Okay, that was the one. Tim Burton did this film? Okay, so this is the one with Johnny Depp. The film includes several recreations of key scenes, including the Lugosi's narration and Glen's pleas for his girlfriend's understanding at the end of the film. Yes. The characters Glen and Glenda in the film Seed of Chucky, the fifth film in the Child's Play series, were named after the film. Oh, this makes all the sense now. And I hated that movie. That was a terrible movie. But now it makes much more sense after seeing. Also, John Waters, I believe, has a cameo in that movie. Director David Lynch has named the film one of his favorites. It's very Lynchian. It is very Lynchian. What did I say, guys? The mascot of Plan 9 from Bell Labs, the name of which is a reference to one of Wood's other films, Plan 9 from Outer Space, is a bunny named Glenda. There you go. All right. So we have the legacy, we have the references. And there it is, guys and gals. Thank you so much for joining me on another Flicks Talk at the Cinema. We have Charade, A Star is Born, Plan 9 from Outer Space, Meet John Doe, Little Shop of Horrors, Detour, amongst a lot of others that I'm continuously finding, guys, that are public domain that we can review here live. We can talk about it. I am so sorry for the technical difficulties once again. That's all my doing. All right. But thank you guys for being here, spending some time on this afternoon. Yes, we'll be watching the original Star is Born. So that being said, you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Please check all the links down in the description below. Join me on social media. Join me over on Patreon for more reactions like this. Catch some live streams. Hit that subscribe. Click that notification bell as I do go live a couple of times a week. If you guys had a good time here and you guys had a good time in the chat, I do go over movie news weekly, live once again, taking your guys' questions. Shouts out to all the newcomers in the chat too. I see a lot of you guys. The Doctor in the building. We got Rebuilding. We got Wayland. Pedro in the building. We got SLC. SLC, you're the one that gave me that story about the pioneer trans woman. Detour is a fantastic grade Z budget movie. I don't know what that means. Grade Z. All right. Cleon, thank you so much. Amanda, of course. Thank you so much for modding the chat. We got Dice Roland in the building saying I recommend Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde. I'll look into it. Let's see who else we got. If you're still here, I'm not sure. But thank you everybody that did join. Ah, yes, Dress to Kill. Actually, I do have a reaction for Dress to Kill on my Patreon. Unfortunately, I don't have the original file, or else I'd make one, an edit for YouTube, but I do have it on Patreon. That's what I was thinking the whole time, too. That's a really, really good one that deals with transgenderism. So that being said, thank you guys so much. Y'all take care, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.